Okay, so now let's speak about the dashboards and the tokens. Each player starts with 3 tokens, an origin token and 2 power tokens. Origin tokens are placed on the first tile you are located in. This is where you come from, and this is where you need to return at the game's end. Players will also have 2 power tokens. Power tokens are used to exert control over populated tiles. We'll see how you do that later on, but this is important and earns you points. Specifically, 5 points for each terrain tile you control of the populated type. Players will also have a dashboard. The dashboard has 4 things: a health scale, an energy scale, and a control scale ranging from 0 to 10, and the description of the turn sequence. Your health scale is what keeps you in the game. You need to take care of this, because if you reach 0 health, you will immediately lose all the points you have accumulated so far, and will have to return to the nearest point where your origin token is. We will see how you earn health in a little while. Energy is what allows you to move, to activate artifacts, and to heal. And control is what allows you to move unnoticed, avoiding stealth tests, which we'll speak later, and also what allows you to activate mutations. So this is your player dashboard. Now let's take a look at the game dashboard. The game dashboard also has 4 things. It has the round number scale, the points scale, the Inquisitor space, and how you earn points. Information on this. By the way, the Inquisitor is a villain that you draw at the beginning of the game, and that represents the leader of the local populace. When people become restless because you fail too many stealth tests, this character will attack each player. We'll see how that goes in a little while. So, how do you earn points? The first way is to trade artifacts. We'll take a look at artifacts in the next segments. But when you visit a village, you will be able to trade your activated artifacts for points. The second way is when you do combat with another player. Each damage you inflict on the other player earns you 1 point. And finally, as we have already spoken, whenever you exert control over a populated tile, you earn 5 points for each populated tile you control. So the next segment, we'll speak about how the game is set up and how the turn sequence goes. Okay, so now let's take a look at how a 2-player setup is done. First, players will have to set their health scales to 10, their energy scales to 0, and their control scales to 0. Each player draws a snow tile facing the daylight cycle and places his model on top. You may notice that players start off isolated from each other and will explore terrain isolated from each other during the first 10 rounds. At the end of round 10, and coinciding with the end of the chapter of Awakening, you will have to flip all of the terrain tiles over and join the 2 maps. We'll take a look at this in a minute. Next, players will set up their origin token on the center of their starting tile. This represents the location where players start and the location to where they need to return at the end of the game. Each player also draws 3 random mutation cards. Mutations will be activated during your turn sequence and will empower your character. They will remain active until discarded or destroyed. We'll get back to this. The next step is to draw a random villain card and nominate it as the Inquisitor. Then you place a number of inactive superstition tokens on top of this card, equal to the number here in red. In this case, it's 5. This number in red is the combat bonus of this villain. We'll take a look at what combat bonus is and how it affects you in a later segment. These markers represent the number of points each player has at the moment, which is 0, and the turn, which is the first turn. You have the game all set up. All you need to do now is start.